Well, good day and welcome once again to Moments with Dr. Steve. I'm Dr. Steve Bonenberger, and in this day we get to work on and work through my magnum opus, the summit of my creative career, AkelDeema, the Saga, Kingdom Builders. Been working on this for 10 years, and I believe I will work on this document and create this story and expand the story and define the story and communicate about this story and defend this story and be the ambassador and champion of and for this story for the remainder of my days. Head over to stludius.org for a small contribution to our ministry. Pick up a copy and join in the adventure. Kingdom Builders, AkelDeema, the Saga. The story, as we are working through it, arrives at this precipice of challenge. The precipice of challenge is so stark and so real and so unavoidable that the main characters have to look at and then stare down this corridor of potential horror or potential great gain. Isn't that how life really evolves for all of us? There are, it's this thin razor's edge of potential horrors, or if we make the proper choice, which is probably the harder choice, then it is a road that leads to proper personal gain. The challenge: does the church, the modern church, not the ancient and archaic church, the one that, we have archived in our mind, but does the modern church, the contemporary church, does that church decide, and this is a conscious and quite active decision, to shut itself off from the outside world? Does the church cloister? Does the church hold its artifacts and its venerable relics as cherished items, and with them and their essential central message of the gospel as sole source of human redemption, does it seal itself off from intrusive and potentially invasive eyes and invaders? Wow. Or does the church, and again, this is a conscious and an active and a resilient decision, does the contemporary church decide and determine to fling open its barricades and tumble its erected barriers and welcome with open arms those sinners and thieves and miscreants and addicts and troubled ones and single moms and dads and children that are beyond wayward, and enter once again, dare I say it, into the bowels of human messiness? When you deal with human beings, and I deal with them every day, it is a messy business. There's nothing clean and sterile and unctuous about it. I deal with things that are many times horrific and difficult to even fathom, and yet I have to plow headlong into them and work hard to find solve and solution, and also to soothe harm. AkelDeema, the Saga, asked the question through a simple equation. The equation is: when you find an alien congregation that has descending attendance and disappearing revenue, you're going to have spiritual chaos. I'm going to say it again. When you have an alien congregation that has descending attendance and disappearing revenues and is void of proper leadership, you will have spiritual chaos on your hands. And if you doubt the veracity of the equation, simply do a bit of a reality check. How many former churches do you know in your neighborhood that are now hotels or brothels or dance studios or quaint B&B style vacation homes? How many former churches are now emptied and sit vacant, untidy in their appearance, and emptied of their vibrancy that once was so electric? How many former churches are now carved out skeletons, decaying, structural relics that are flickers of their former self? How many churches fight and bicker over the color of carpets in antique building, whilst their pews remain dusty and discolored from non-use? Our thought question of and for this day: does the modern church decide and determine to cloister and morph into a closed monastic society? Or does the church vibrantly turn its head to God and return to its missional source and once again rise to the cultural occasion and and tackle the cultural challenges with the intent of rescuing, listing people from their woes. The only way we do that is by having welcomed arms and these doors that fling wide open. Monastery are wayfarers in. Monastery are wayfarers in. Your thoughts matter here. We're building a global cultural conversation. Head over to saintalegius.org, drop us a note, and let us know how you see the church managing these tricky wickets that we are now confronted with. Till next time, I'm Dr. Steve Bonenberger. This is Moments with Dr. Steve. Travel far